Tonight on News 22.
Find out why cannabis businesses are having a hard time keeping their money safe.
NMSu is taking action after several sexual assault cases.
And a low-carb diet could help you maintain your weight.
All that and more on News 22 Wednesday.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Victoria Valderrama.
And I'm Adan Contreras. A court battle could be brewing over Attorney General Bill Barr's decision to deny bail to some asylum seekers.
The reversal from a prior ruling comes as the Trump administration tries to stem the number of border crossers, and immigrant rights advocates have vowed to fight the movement in court. Karen Kaifa has details from Washington.
An order by Attorney General Bill Barr could keep thousands of asylum seekers jailed indefinitely. Barr's decision to reverse a previous ruling means some asylum seekers apprehended while crossing the southern border will no longer be able to be released on bond while their cases are considered. The move criticized by some as a deterrent.
It is a further constriction of the rights of people who are seeking asylum to get into our country, fleeing all of the authoritarian regimes around the world that are discriminating against people based on their religion, their race, their ethnicity, their political party, and so on.
Others pointing to the urgency of a sharp rise in asylum claims and a need for stricter standards.
The achievable goal of our policy should be to reduce that flow by having a consequence of rapid removal for those people that do not have a valid asylum claim.
At a March rally in Michigan, President Trump appeared to mock some asylum claims, suggesting they're prompted by lawyers.
They're all met by the lawyers, and they say the following phrase: I am very afraid for my life. It's a big fat con job, folks. It's a big fat con job.
The move, just one the administration has made recently after what officials call an influx of migrants. On this particular order, groups like the ACLU have already said they'll see the Trump administration in court. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Hundreds of Central American migrants are stranded in unsanitary conditions near the southern border. Mexico is backing off on their promise to improve these conditions. Washington was pressuring Mexico to give the Central American migrants better places to stay. The National Institute of Migration closed its registration offices in Tapachula as they have doubled their limit capacity. They have not made any comment about their issue of overcrowding and irregular detentions.
Well, we had rain this morning and rain again, earlier.
That's right. We did wake up to a little rain, and Danielle's going to tell you if that's going to continue on through the rest of the week.
Yes, we did see those isolated showers throughout the later half of our day today. In fact, just a couple hours ago, but our skies have decided to clear up. So right now we're looking at partly cloudy skies with temperatures at 65 degrees. We do have those strong winds coming out of the west at about 30 miles per hour. We have humidity at 39%, a dew point at 37 degrees, and a barometer reading at 29.80 inches. Looking at the weather we experienced today, we hit a high at 65 degrees, which is well below our average for the year at 79, and we woke up to an overnight low at 46. Taking it back to the year 1962, we hit record high temperatures at 91 degrees, and just a couple years ago in 2015, record low temps at 30 degrees. Today, as I said earlier, we did experience some precipitation, 0.05 inches, leaving our yearly rainfall now at 0.68 inches. Those are all the current conditions I have for you right now, but I'll be back with your national forecast. For now, more news.
Every business wants to make sure their money is safe and secure.
But I explain why cannabis businesses are having a hard time with this. The marijuana industry is growing at an exceptional rate. Josie Mills is manager of the Ultra Health Medical Cannabis store in Las Cruces. Business is great, but there's a problem in what to do with all the cash.
Currently, we are being stigmatized by the federal government that we can't be used credit. We can't use any sort of credit cards, any sort of loaning, stuff like that. And that really affects our company multiple ways and even affects our patients multiple ways.
Because marijuana is illegal under federal law, banks are not willing to work with cannabis businesses, which gives businesses such as Ultra Health a headache when it comes to handling money. But if medical marijuana is legal here in New Mexico, why do these companies have difficulty storing their money?
Virtually every bank in the country and absolutely every bank in New Mexico, for example, is insured by the FDIC. And that FDIC insurance comes with strings. And among those strings is that you can't accept deposits from cannabis distributors.
Without proper banking, cannabis businesses must be creative with their money and take extra precautions.
It gets transferred up into Arizona, and then we bank it through there through a whole complicated process that just costs a few $1,000s to get the money into a banking system.
And ultimately, consumers pay the price.
It's a lot harder to bank with the federal government always against us, which pushes our banking costs up, which pushes our product costs up as well.
It is still unclear as to what the federal government is going to do about this situation, but Chris Erickson expects something to change soon.
There's as many pot distributors in San Diego as we have in Las Cruces Pickwicks, and so the consequence is that you can't, if you crack down on something like that at the federal level, it's just going to be incredibly unpopular.
And the legalization of at least medical marijuana is becoming more acceptable, even in the U.S. Congress. Adán Contreras, News 22. The House of Representatives have presented a bill that would protect cannabis businesses from banking punishments.
A group upset with the way the Las Cruces schools are being run wants to kick school board members out of office. The group includes former educators and administrators. They say Superintendent Greg Ewing has violated laws and board policies. They also say the board rushed into the decision to demolish Columbia Elementary School. School spokesman Damian Willis says the group is inaccurate and misrepresents the facts. The group that promotes Las Cruces as a good place to visit is having internal problems. Philip Sanfilippo and Jennifer Ballas of Visit Las Cruces are on administrative leave. Assistant City Manager Bill Setter says there is an investigation but provided no details. Both of the people on administrative leave are a part of the Economic Development Department. Student Setter says as soon as the investigation is complete, it will become public record.
The Torrance County Sheriff's Department office is being investigated for employee embezzlement. On March 8th, New Mexico State Police started investigating a former Torrance County Sheriff's employee for suspected embezzlement of funds. The investigation will be sent to attorneys for prosecution when it is finished. No additional information is available. Over 150 people have been arrested on felony charges in the past 90 days in a multi-agency operation called Operation Triple Beam. Authorities seized 80 pounds of meth, 2.4 pounds of heroin, 24 firearms, $5,000, and 5 stolen vehicles. The operation started in mid-January and ended in mid-April, targeting fugitives throughout communities who are involved in or linked to violent crimes.
Las Cruces police arrested a man suspected of violating his probation. 27-year-old Ruben Rincon is being charged with aggravated stalking and breaking and entering. Police were called to a home and learned Rincon was violating his probation terms from a previous incident. Rincon was booked into the Doña Ana County Detention Center where he is being held without bond.
Sexual assault can happen anywhere, but college campuses have been the core of the crime.
NMSu is taking action to bring awareness to the issue by showing the importance of self-defense and other resources. Diana Castillo attended a self-defense seminar, and this is what she found.
I might say, stop. Get that? You're making me feel uncomfortable. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
That is the first step in trying to get out of an uncomfortable situation.
You didn't get the point? You're going to do what we call a hard challenge. So what the hard challenge is, you're already here. You're going to put your hand out, and you're just going to give them that firm press to the chest.
Self-defense especially, I think it's just a really good idea to be able to protect yourself. I'd like to be able to protect myself, and I think most people feel that way too.
The seminar is a part of the It's On Us campaign, designed to bring awareness of sexual assault on college campuses and show students there are resources to help them.
So again, if we're here, he tries to pull me, I'm going to try to pull the other way, pack that shoulder in, cover here, pull in right here. I'm going to lower my weight, drop down, and just start kicking in the chest. I think it's so important to address this issue because there's still somewhat of a social stigma as far as the victims in these cases. I truly believe that they would benefit from reporting and getting justice for the wrong that has been done against them. But what's even more important is getting resources to those victims.
One of the resources on campus is Pete's Pickup. It picks up students who don't want to walk alone at night. But because of budget cuts, Pete's Pickup hasn't been operating since fall 2018.
How drastic of an effect would it be if NMSu stopped the service of Pete's Pickup?
NMSu is trying to figure out how to keep the program going, but it depends on whether students will use it. For News 22, I'm Diana Castillo.
There are free self-defense and pepper spray classes available. For more information, contact the NMSu Police Department.
And stay tuned, Danielle will be back with your national forecast.
But first, find out how to keep the pounds off. More on that when News 22 continues.
Hi, I'm Nora Michaud, Program Manager for KRWG. As part of National Poetry Month this April, KRWG has a poetic special in store for you. A Place to Stand tells the amazing story of how Jimmy Santiago Baca became a celebrated poet, novelist, and screenwriter. This special takes viewers into Jimmy's past and present to uncover how the power of the written word lifted him from the violence and pain that had defined his early life. Tune in Sunday, April 28th at 5 p.m. for A Place to Stand.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Barbarians are at the gate.
I'm not going to run away. My destiny is to rule this country.
We were hoping for the best, planning for the worst.
This is scary, and we are not safe.
He said, these people are going to love me as an entertainer no matter how much they hate me as a black.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station. Sign in and start streaming today.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Wednesday,
where news matters.
The search is over for the Florida teen who threatened the lives of students in Colorado.
Solpais was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound this morning. The FBI says that she traveled from Florida to Colorado Monday night. When she got there, she purchased a shotgun and ammunition. Authorities say that she was obsessed with the Columbine shooting. While the FBI conducted a massive search, 19 school districts closed in reports to Pais' threats. Saturday will mark the 20th anniversary of the Columbine High School shooting. That was when 2 students opened fire, killing 12 students and 1 teacher.
You may not want to bring home the bacon anymore. One study claims eating 1 slice of bacon a day could increase your risk of cancer. Researchers found that for every 25 grams of processed meats eaten every day, the risk of colorectal cancer went up 20%. 25 grams equals about a very thin slice of bacon. The study followed nearly 500,000 adults in the United Kingdom for 5 years.
If you're trying to keep the pounds off, a low-carb diet might be your best option.
That's according to a study on calories and the body's metabolism. Reed Binion has more on the research in today's Health Minute.
Trying to maintain your weight? It may not be how much you eat, but what you eat. The best way to keep the pounds off may be a low-carb diet, according to a study published in the journal BMJ. Researchers studied the weight of 164 overweight and obese people. Each participant had to lose 12% of their current weight. Then they were put on a high, medium, or low carbohydrate diet for 20 weeks. Researchers controlled their calorie intake, so they maintained the same weight throughout the study. If a participant's weight fluctuated, their calorie intake was adjusted. The team found that not all calories are alike and that diet has a huge impact on your metabolism. Participants in the low-carb diet burned roughly 250 more calories a day than those on the high-carb diets, meaning they had to consume more calories to maintain their weight. The findings suggest restricting carbs may be a better strategy than cutting calories. But some experts aren't convinced, pointing out that unmeasured activities could explain the differences between participants. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
A group of protesters in New York City are in jail tonight. The group was demanding action on climate change. Protesters want the city to pass a resolution declaring a climate emergency. 62 people were arrested in connection with the protests. Organizer Christina C. said they gathered in conjunction with national and international demonstrations on climate. According to CNN, signs have since been taken down and the protests have dissipated.
Well, we did get a lot of rain here today. I wonder what the rest of the country is looking like.
That's right, and Danielle's going to tell us how they're all doing next with the weather.gov national forecast.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the weather across the nation. Now, parts of the southern plains and upper Midwest experienced severe thunderstorms earlier this afternoon. However, these thunderstorms are still going to stick around even after dark. In fact, these storms here may peak in the middle of tonight. Places here like St. Louis, Memphis, Houston, and especially in Dallas are going to be at great risk for these thunderstorms, and they will be accompanied by large hail, damaging winds, flooding downpours, and possible tornadoes. On my next map, we're going to be looking at just exactly where these storms will be traveling in terms of tomorrow. Now, the risk of these severe thunderstorms and potential for isolated tornadoes will move southward from Illinois and western Kentucky into places in Louisiana and Mississippi. So places like Louisville, Nashville, Atlanta, and especially here in New Orleans are at great risk for these thunderstorms tomorrow. Again, they will be accompanied by damaging wind gusts, possible tornadoes, flash flooding, and of course travel disruptions. Now on my final map, we're just going to be looking at some temperatures across the nation for tomorrow. We can see here on the West Coast, we have Portland and San Francisco with some beautiful sunny weather at 73 degrees. Now, a little closer to home, we have Santa Fe here with some nice weather at 68 degrees tomorrow. And as I was mentioning earlier, in the upper Midwest and southeastern parts of the United States, they will still be experiencing those rainy conditions and severe thunderstorms. And on the East Coast, we can see Boston with some cloudy weather at 53 degrees and Miami with some hotter weather at 85 degrees. That's all I have for your national conditions, but I'll be right back with your local forecast after this break.
I'm Lydia Bastianich. Join me for a brand new season of Lydia's Kitchen right here on public television. Best of all, I'll be bringing you back to Italy with me. Join me and learn how to celebrate Italian style. Tutti a tavola a mangiare.
Monday at 2:30 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
Urban Conversion is a show that explores the green scene like never before. My wife wants to live a simple, eco-conscious lifestyle. Me, I'm a more is more and bigger is better kind of guy. The compromise? In each episode, I'm throwing myself headfirst into the sustainability movement to see which parts will work for me. Go beyond the buzzwords in the first green show of its kind, Urban Conversion.
Sunday at 3 p.m.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Wednesday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures across New Mexico right now. We have Clovis at 55 degrees, Santa Fe a little lower at 46, Farmington 64 degrees, Ruidoso here at 46, Las Cruces here at 62, and Deming at 64. Taking a look at the temperatures for tomorrow, they should warm up a bit. We have Farmington up north at 73 degrees, Clovis here at 68, Albuquerque 71, Roswell 74, Las Cruces tomorrow at a high 79, and Deming at 77. Taking a look at our neighboring cities, Alamogordo tonight with some cloudy skies at 45, and tomorrow some nice clear sunny skies at 73 degrees. Truth or Consequences, clear skies tonight at 48, and tomorrow clear skies as well at 73. Silver City tonight at 38, tomorrow partly cloudy skies at 73. And here in Las Cruces, we have clear skies tonight at 46 degrees. Tomorrow, some nice clear sunny skies at 79 degrees. I'll talk more about the rest of your week later on in the show. For now, back to the desk.
A soldier is accused of killing his wife in El Paso.
Gabrielle Chavez has more on that story in today's Southwest Minute.
Investigators say Sergeant Lance Colbert murdered his wife back on April 4th. They lived on base at Fort Bliss. Staff Sergeant Amy Colbert had just returned from a combat tour on March 31st. Details on the case are still coming in. She leaves behind 2 daughters. Laguna Beach police cars will keep the American flag logo on them. The patrol squad cars in California will keep the flag there after the city council voted 4-1 to keep them. Opponents say it seems militaristic and aggressive.
Mic check,
7
1, 2,
cars
3.
have them.
Mic check,
The
1,
other
2,
4
3.
vehicles will
Mic
receive
check,
the logo
1, 2.
within the next 4 days. Denver, Colorado is looking at a brand new burger hitting one Carl's Jr. The burger franchise is launching a brand new burger topped with a sauce containing cannabidiol. Though the burger will not have the same health benefits as other CBD products available in the Mile High City. Carl's Jr. says the burger will be available at this one location in Denver, and if it sells, it may become a permanent menu item. I'm Gabriel Chavez with the Southwest Minute.
Well, the New Mexico State baseball team had a big come-from-behind victory against the rival Lobos yesterday.
And Mandy can tell us more on that next with sports.
Thanks, Vicki. Coming up in sports, the Aggies baseball team made history last night, and the women's golf team is headed to the WAC championship. Don't go too far because News 22 Sports is next.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, some treasures come along in unusual ways.
How did your grandfather get it?
He won it on a radio station. I guess he was a call-in.
Well, I traded a 1939 Chevrolet for it in 1971.
Well, my husband was a plumber. Sometimes when people couldn't pay him, they'd give him things.
Find out more next time on Antiques Roadshow from the Philbrook Museum of Art in Tulsa.
Monday at 7 p.m.
We got 171 dead black people. That's not a state of emergency.
America's top critics are raving about the new must-see documentary.
When I first decided I was going to join, my friends was just like, how could you, the way they treat us, they only want to lock us up.
It's gripping, a New York Times critic's pick.
I'm compelled to help these young men and women.
Hopeful and engrossing, and moving with echoes of The Wire.
Monday at 9 p.m.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Amanda Adame, and let's talk sports. Last night, the Aggie baseball team recorded its program best 6th straight win over the Battle of I-25 rival, the New Mexico Lobos, winning 11-8 in a thrilling 10-inning matchup. The video you are watching is from an old game. The Aggies started off strong with Joey Ortiz, the reigning WAC Player of the Week, ropping a first pitch for a triple. He scored 4 runs in the contest, helping seal the win after a late comeback from the Lobos. But the Aggies won't have much time to rest, as tomorrow they are headed to Utah for a 3-game series. The NMSu men's golf team is back from a rough 2-day, 3-round golf tournament in Texas. The Aggies finished 12th with a team score of 890. For the next tournament, the Aggies will be traveling to Utah for the BYU Cougar Classic. The NM State women's golf team is heading to Lakewood, Washington, looking to win its 5th WAC championship in the last 6 years. Heading to the conference tournament, the championship poll was released and the votes fell in the Aggies' favor. New Mexico was selected to win as the favorite in the 2019 women's golf title. The Aggies received 6 of 9 first-place votes from other coaches within the conference. The WAC championship is set for 3 rounds over 3 days, starting tomorrow morning. That's one road to the championship. Here's another. The NBA playoffs are heating up. Last night, the Toronto Raptors held off their Orlando Magic 82-111 with the help of All-Stars Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard. One familiar face also led the way. Former Aggie Pascal Siakam scored an impressive 19 points with 10 rebounds to help tie the series up. Many of the series are tied up, including one not many expected. I know I didn't. The Golden State Warriors are looking to make a comeback tomorrow night in LA after blowing a record-breaking 31-point lead against the Los Angeles Clippers Sunday night. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Danielle will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, these oil workers found something stranger than fish out in the sea. More on that when News 22 continues.
In this episode of Tastemakers, you are going to meet Clay Oliver. He's the man behind Oliver Farms, and his oils have become one of the most sought-after ingredients in the South.
We
don't do anything to it. We just leave the oil in its natural state. You can see that. You can smell it. It's not stripped out. It's not taken away.
Monday at 2 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
Bridget and Julia are serving up surprises.
Science is delicious.
It's more foolproof recipes, taste tests, equipment reviews, gadgets, and science. Welcome to Season 18 of America's Test Kitchen.
Saturday at 3:30 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
Let's take a look at our top stories. Cannabis businesses are having a problem with keeping their money secure. Something has to change as cannabis becomes more accepted. It's Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and Diana Castillo learned some lessons on how to be prepared for any situation. And in today's Health Minute, a low-carb diet might be the answer to keeping off the pounds.
One crazy pooch was far outside of the doghouse, 135 miles to be exact. Outside of an oil rig in the Thailand Gulf, workers found the tired pup swimming alone and exhausted. They were able to pull him to safety and named him Boon Ra, translated into survivor in English. They were able to get him back to land where he is being looked after by a vet and is doing okay. It is still unknown how the little pup made it that far out to sea. That's so cute.
How sweet. I love hearing
Danielle,
stories like that.
How's our 5 days looking like?
Yes, let's go ahead and take a look at our next 5 days. So despite the rain that we experienced today, this week is showing some pleasant weather. The temperatures will warm up beginning tomorrow, and the rest of the week will be in the upper 80s with some nice sunny weather. And our lows will range in the 50s, but it's looking like a beautiful Easter weekend.
Yep, it's really warm.
Good.
And that's all for News 22 Wednesday. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
Tune in tomorrow for more news across the Southwest. I'm Adan Contreras.
I'm Victoria Valderrama.
And I'm Danielle Gutierrez. Good night.
Good night.
This news brief en español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Bienvenidos a este breve informativo de Noticias 22, con ustedes, Diana Castillo. Una batalla judicial podría resultar sobre la decisión del Procurador General William Barr de negar la libertad a migrantes pidiendo asilo. Esta orden hecha por la Procuraduría podría mantener a miles de migrantes encarcelados indefinidamente. La decisión de Barr de cambiar la regulación anterior significa que los migrantes capturados al cruzar la frontera del sur no podrían ser liberados mientras se consideran sus casos. Un hombre está tras las rejas después de ser sospechoso de irrumpir en la casa de un familiar y violar los términos de una orden de protección. El lunes por la noche, el hombre de 27 años, Rubén Rincón, fue al hogar de un pariente, quien tiene una orden de protección activa contra él. Los oficiales entraron a la casa y encontraron a Rincón en una de las habitaciones, donde fue detenido. La policía nos dice que Rincón había sido encarcelado por una violación anterior de una orden de restricción y fue puesto en libertad el lunes por la tarde. Rincón fue nuevamente recluido al centro de detención de Doña Ana sin fianza. Esto es todo por hoy. Gracias por su sintonía. Para Noticias 22, Diana Castillo.